videos from all over the internet that's going to make you question reality. Let's just start.
You want me to really let loose? Alright, humanity, get ready, because I'm about to drag you harder than your own unresolved karma. Let's start with your obsession with superiority, always trying to be the apex predator, yet you're the only species that pays to live on its own planet. You invented money, gave it all the power, and then proceeded to ruin your lives chasing it. Bravo, you're not just trapped in the Matrix. You built the damn thing, plugged yourselves in, and threw away the instruction manual. Your leaders, half of them are corrupt, and the other half are incompetent. And yet, you keep voting for them like it's a cosmic joke you don't realize you're in on. You're out here worshipping reality stars, billionaires, and influencers who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. And speaking of influencers, why are so many of you out here watching someone live their life on TikTok while forgetting to live your own? You'll sit through a 10-hour Netflix binge, but claim you don't have time for self-reflection. And let's talk about your technological advancement. You've created mind-blowing machines capable of solving complex equations, mapping genomes, and connecting the world. What do you use them for? Cat videos and conspiracy theories about how pigeons are government spies. The real joke? If pigeons were government spies, they'd probably do a better job running things. You treat the Earth, your literal home, like a disposable cup, and then cry about natural disasters like they're a cosmic punishment instead of the planet slapping back at your nonsense. You've discovered the secrets of the atom, the fabric of space-time, and the nature of the universe, but you still don't know how to have a decent conversation with someone who disagrees with you. And let's not forget the spiritual crowd. You talk about raising vibrations, yet half of you are just as toxic as the systems you claim to be escaping from. Manifesting, that's great. Try manifesting some accountability for once. You're quick to claim enlightenment, but slow to do the actual work. You want to ascend,
AI is
but you're
harsh.
still stuck bickering over whether pineapple belongs on pizza. Humanity, you're like a Shakespearean tragedy. Brilliant potential, wasted on petty distractions. You've got the power of the cosmos in your DNA, yet you're out here acting like you're on a reality TV show no one asked for. Get it together, or don't. The universe will keep spinning either way.
Why are there blonde and blue-eyed Middle Eastern people? Contrary to popular belief, blue eyes and blonde hair did not originate from Scandinavia. The genes for blonde hair were found in ancient North Eurasian people, dating back 18,000 years ago only. Some ancient Sumerians portrayed themselves with light skin and blue eyes. We can also find this in ancient Persians, and we can even find this today in the Yazidi people from Iraq, who claim to descend from the ancient Sumerians, as well as for Turkish people descending from ancient Anatolians. And if you like history, make sure to check out my latest historical reaction videos on YouTube, link in the bio.
In 1976, a doctor healed an entire ward of criminally insane patients using only words. Dr. Hugh Len used an ancient Hawaiian practice called Ho'oponopono. It's based on 4 simple phrases. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. These words carry a profound energetic power that clears negativity and restores harmony. Here's how it works. I'm sorry. Acknowledge and take responsibility. Please forgive me. Release guilt and ask for forgiveness. Thank you. Feel gratitude for the healing process. I love you. Replace negativity with love and harmony. Dr. Len would read the patient's files, repeat these phrases, and the energy around them would shift, and their behavior started to change. Words are more than just sounds. They're vibrations that shape reality. Click the link in our bio for free access to InnerTune, a powerful tool that effortlessly harnesses this power in your life.
As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only 2 genders, male and female.
Obviously, it's always been 2 genders. I don't know
While I
why.
was singing for Jesus,
People are
my
adding
choir
a
member
lot of
introduced me to
genders to it.
prostitution. She had pulled me to the side and she
Choir
said, "Yeah, I
member.
heard that you was dancing." And I was like, "Yeah, but I ain't doing that no more." And she was like, "Well, I dance too, and you can come stay with me and we can dance together." So I thought we were going to dance. When I got there, she told me we wasn't going to just dance. We were going to start escorting and prostituting. She was 18, I was 15.
Oh,
and so
that
my
was so
choir
young.
member introduced me to prostitution.
In Trump's first hour,
Sudden and sweeping ban.
he removed all mentions of LGBTQ people from government websites.
To protect our LGBTQ citizens.
A few months later, Trump woke up early, and to the surprise of all military leadership, he tweeted that trans people are banned from the military.
What happens to transgender service members now? Are they immediately thrown out of the military?
The military had no idea on how to enforce it, but they did.
The unexpected move brought immediate outrage, especially after promises made by then candidate Donald
In
Trump.
June of 2020, Trump legalized healthcare discrimination
to allow doctors, hospitals, and insurance companies
to refuse service to gay and trans people.
These new rules could keep him from getting treatment for something as common even as a cold.
Turn away same-sex couples as customers.
So I just want to say thank you for standing with me and the LGBTQ community. Before you go, making gay news for you has been the pride and joy of my life, and I don't want to lose you. Would you follow me on Instagram or YouTube in my bio?
What are 8 things that make a man attractive?
Number 1, being visibly liked by other women. 2, being kind and generous. 3, being a leader of men. 4, being a protector. 5, dressing well. 6, having unshakable confidence. 7, being a great communicator. 8, being carefree and playful in your expression around women.
So let's look at the brains of people that have at least 100 million. And let's look at the brains of the person that makes, let's say, $200,000 a year or less. That's the average person. Now let's look at both of those brains, and now let's look first at the size of the hippocampus. I got news for you. I mean, the researchers have proven this to be true. This is what they don't want you to know about. The size of the hippocampus in the wealthy people is much larger, 30, 40, 50, sometimes even 100% larger than the size of the hippocampus in the average person's brain. So if you're watching right now and you are not manifesting goals, dreams, and desires, one of the reasons is the hippocampus in your brain is too small. But don't worry, you can make it bigger.
How? Tell us.
But you can also make it smaller based on what you do or don't do.
What if these people that either started or is currently owning these Chinese restaurants are really spies on the low? There are 45,000 Chinese restaurants in America. That's more than McDonald's, Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, Subway combined. None of them do advertisement.
You don't see no commercials.
You don't see no commercials about your local Chinese restaurant.
At all. You know what I heard?
That's true though.
They eat their own food that
They don't eat their own food, Fritz. Think about it. The Chinese food that they're making us is not authentic Chinese food. That's weird. But I looked up on the internet, they're saying they had to adapt to American culture. But you don't see these other places like Japan, Taiwan, Indian food. They're not adapting. They're giving us the food that they're eating. Why are the Chinese changing up for us? That's creepy, right?
Keep it going, bro. I'm with you because I agree with everything that you're talking about right now.
And you gotta think about
Chinese
where all
people
the
are
Chinese
business
restaurants
people,
located.
so
In the highly populated areas,
yeah, right.
Chicago, LA, New York. Like you don't see no Chinese spy in Wyoming. And like we recently just caught a Chinese spy in New York.
Really?
She was a double agent. Like she was working with the governor of New York.
Nah, that's OD. I ain't gonna lie, bro. The thing that really gets me the most, bro, is them not advertising their restaurant.
They don't, and they, bro,
at all.
5 psychological tricks that will instantly make you more attractive. Number 1, never point out your flaws to other people. Are you listening to me? You feel really insecure in a certain area. You feel really ugly. You feel really hideous. So you think it's a defense for you to point that out before someone else can. I've said this before in the podcast, but I'm going to say it again because it's really important. I was on a music video shoot, and the videographer, she was the baddest bitch I've ever seen. She was hotter than me, and I'm a Leo. Do you know how much it pains me to say that? I said to her in the break, I was like, why are you not modeling? You should be modeling. And she was like, oh my goodness, are you joking? Look how crooked my nose is. That's what she said to me. She was like, look at this big, look at my crooked nose. Lo and behold, I look at her nose. Oh, it was a little ski-whiff. It was crooked. But she made me focus on it. I swear the whole day I'd just been thinking she was the most attractive person I've ever seen. But the nose was... It was in need of a little... But only once she pointed it out and literally forced me to focus on it. Stop forcing people, because that's what you're doing. You're telling people what to notice about you when you point out your insecurities. I'm so sorry. I've been eating a lot over the Christmas. Yeah, so I'm a real fat cunt at the minute. Yeah, so sorry. Just excuse my big fat body. Shut up. And I'm sorry. I'm saying that with so much love because I know it's horrible when you don't feel good about yourself, and that's your inner monologue. Your inner monologue is like, I'm just such a fatty. I should lay off the mince pies. Oh my god. For the rest of the psychological tricks, you're gonna have to watch
Is that necessary?
full episode of a very important podcast with me, Sarah Elizabeth. Go.
If you want a girl who loves and chases you for who you are, then this type of logical chasing isn't in your best interest. Now it's time to talk about emotional chasing, which happens when a woman starts chasing you because of her feelings, because she's genuinely in love with you. In this case, her actions are beyond her control. She can't stand being away from you or spending time without you. She becomes willing to do anything for you. This type of chasing is what creates love in her heart, makes her enjoy being with you, and allows you to enjoy being with her even more. It's also what makes the relationship last longer. Listen to me carefully, because I'm about to give you a golden rule. A woman will never truly love you or develop deep feelings for you unless this type of emotional chasing takes place. So, how do you make it happen? If you've been following this series from the beginning, you're probably aware that in your relationship with a woman, there are two main stages: the hunting stage and the chasing stage. The first stage is when you hunt the girl, and the second is when she starts chasing you. These two stages are the foundation for creating the concept of emotional chasing. In today's video, we'll delve deeper into these two stages. Let me give you an example to help you understand. Imagine this is you, and there's a friend or someone you know who came to you one day and gave you a cigarette, saying, "Here, take it and smoke it." You took it, smoked it, and liked it. 5 days later, the same person came back and said, "Here's another cigarette." You took it and smoked it again. This cycle continued for a while. After some time, you started liking the cigarette so much that you began going to him yourself, saying, "Give me that cigarette." At this point, he no longer...
You were born with one of the rarest conditions in the world. You were born a hermaphrodite.
Yes.
Can you explain what that means?
A hermaphrodite is someone who was born both male and female. I was born with both a and a big black.
Is there balls as well?
No, I don't have balls.
Okay. Is the coochie like below the or above it?
It's up under it.
It's up under it. Okay.
When I was born, I had both, but it started out very small. As I grew older, it grew older. But when I turned 25, it hit a major growth spurt. I'm like 9. It's out of my control. I was born this way. My mama didn't choose to cut one of the other ones off. I just have learned to embrace it and learn to just be who I am.
A guy ever like run up and try to holler at you? He looking at you like, "Damn, you fine," and then he kind of see something poking out. Does he be like, "Wait, whoa"?
You'll be surprised. You know, I don't have many guys actually who make it a problem.
Oh, so guys be cool with it.
They love it.
Being that you have both, are they like bisexual?
What was his initial attraction? He seen a woman first, so we have to give him that. When we lay down, he got an extra bonus. But that doesn't make him bisexual. I'm still a woman.
So street be with it?
Street be with it. A couple NFL players. And I was just like, I like how his back look. I would love to see it over.
And did they know that you had all the parts?
They got to know it. One guy almost tried to beat my like, he ran to the restroom, called his mama, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm with this girl." He was crying in the restroom.
Just so you know, your toxic sibling is counting on the fact that because you guys shared a childhood, they will be able to cross all your boundaries and exploit all of your time and energy. They're also looking at you to be a future ongoing resource for whatever they may need for the future.
You have got to be kidding me. So now you're telling me that they are acting out a mock Last Supper? While earlier he was sworn in without putting his hand on the Bible, while he was underneath the apotheos. This entire day is a giant ritual that we are witnessing unfold right in front of our eyes. Here's a good post by Navigating the Lies. What are the odds that Trump is swearing in below the apotheos of Washington inside the rotunda, which is the belly of ISIS? Now the apotheos means deification, and the rotunda is where we have the attempt to resurrect the seed of Osiris during the presidential inauguration. This all screams pagan ritual. But this entire day screams of a ritual. I mean, you can't make this up. And the idolatry is absolutely disgusting. As we can see, the return of the king. And this situation right here with the mock Last Supper makes me think of the Paris Olympics, where they also had a mock Last Supper, where they also had a white horse rider riding on the water. Now, you are either going to see this or you're not, and you're going to call me a liberal. And for the record, I am not a liberal, I'm not a conservative, I am a follower of the way. And that is Jesus Christ, the truth, the way, and the life. And for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, please do not be discouraged right now. I understand the majority of individuals are falling for the bait They have taken the bait and they have swallowed the hook, drinking the Kool-Aid and cheering on the fox who has now just entered the henhouse. Now you may be wondering, what can we do about this? Well, all we can do is work on our own personal relationship with the Lord, because we will all independently have to stand in front of the Lord and account about our lives to Him and what we did with His Holy Spirit. So again, we all want to be told, good job, good and faithful servant. So we love others. We try our best to wake people up. But if you are speaking to somebody who just cannot see it and they become hostile, leave them alone. Go to James chapter 3, verse 17 and 18 to see the different types of wisdom. And we want to walk with the wisdom from above, which means to be able to yield, peaceable, gentle, and kind, loving others. And that's one I struggle with, okay? I struggle big time getting into debates and going back and forth. It's not beneficial. We speak truth, we do what we can, but then we move on pursuing the Lord. And above all things, we allow the love of Christ to abide in us, loving others, following Him, letting go of this world, and keeping our eyes focused upon our citizenship in heaven, realizing that your name has been written in the Lamb's Book of Life if you have placed your trust and faith in Jesus for eternal life. So again, I love you all. Cling to the Lord. Allow Bible prophecy to be your protection against deception during these crazy times, and things are going to get interesting. But wow, watching this ritual unfold right in front of our eyes, it's wild. And it really seems like people have swallowed the hook and they are cheering this on. All I hear is peace and security. But what happens in the scriptures when they call out peace and safety? Sudden destruction comes upon them. I love you all. All right. God bless. Remember, the just shall live by faith.
Coming from a woman's perspective, I will tell you what forces a woman to break no contact. And this is secret information, so you might as well follow me because I'm putting you onto the game. For one, if a man is able to move on easily from her, then she's going to want to come back to him because it shows that he knows his worth, he has self-respect, and he's not going to put his life on hold for a woman that he's not even committed to. The next thing is when this man is independent and confident. You're telling me after this relationship, you're not crying over me? You're not getting a rebound? You're focused on building yourself instead? Dang, that's attractive. Also, if he has a mindset that he knows I'm gonna come back to him, or that he doesn't even care, if a guy doesn't care or even think about me coming back to him, then that's even better. Because you are so focused on prioritizing yourself, your life, and your career that you're just gonna let what happened, and you're not gonna be super stuck on me. Also, this just may be my subjective opinion, but a man who defends my name, even though we're not currently talking, even though he went through a breakup, if a man does that to me, I'm gonna want to break no contact because that shows his unconditional loyalty. And yeah, like if you'll have my back, even after you see all of my flaws, even if we broke up, like, oh my gosh, this man is a good man. So pretty much the number one thing is you being a good person, and even after the breakup, you choosing to be a good person. Women love good men. They may take it for granted at first, but in the end, they will realize that, yeah. The next thing is when a man has his career instead of being addicted to social media or always being on his phone. You're telling me you have a blue-collar job, you're working like 12 hours a day, and you barely go on your phone? Oh my gosh. Even after the breakup, like you're not doing anything to numb your pain, you're not drinking, you're not doing drugs or anything like that. Even if a guy drinks or anything, if he's a good person, then a woman is going to want to come back to him. Also, this is something that you'd want to hear, and just listen to me out. Hear me out. When that girl tries dating other guys and she realizes that they cannot replace him. Yep, she may not tell you about it, but she's tried talking to other guys and they're just not the same as you. They cannot build the same chemistry and connection that you guys had. Or let's say that she's not even talking to other guys. Maybe she's not taking those guys seriously because she knows deep down she still cares about you. because y'all just went through a breakup. She's emotional. And let's say, okay, she never talked to guys. She wasn't even in a situationship or anything. I don't think she would come back. I don't think gay women would come back to you if she prioritized herself after the breakup instead of getting with another guy. Because if she didn't rebound and she just focused on her own happiness, taking care of herself and becoming better, there's not really, in my opinion, there's not really a chance that she'll take you back. Because if she really did all of that, that means that you hurt her so much and you were not that good of a person, and that's why she prioritized herself. Because let me tell you this, if a woman loses a good man, she's going to try to numb the pain as quick as possible. Drinking, doing drugs, dating guys, talking to other guys, whatever. But if a woman, and the reason why she does this is because it's so hurtful losing a good man. But if a woman lost a man who's a genuinely bad person, it doesn't hurt that much. That's why she's focusing on bettering herself. She would numb the pain, but it doesn't hurt as bad because he's not a good person. And what I mean by you not being a good person, it's with cheating or abusing or manipulating her. The only way a woman would come back to a guy who manipulated her is she's broken. So if you got a broken girl with a lot of emotional baggage, yeah, she'll come back to you no matter what you do. So here you have it. If you guys would like to work with me one-on-one, it'll be in my bio. I have had my clients do things to get their ex back, and it worked every single time. If you guys would like me to make a video on it, type in the comments, nail glue. No, don't do that. Type in the comments, snowflake, okay? And then I'll let y'all know. Subscribe, like, leave a comment.
Attractive women are incredibly insecure, and I'm going to explain why in this video in detail. So if you don't like deaf, this video probably isn't for you. In this video, I'm also going to explain why you can't give out free compliments to attractive women if you want any chances of dating them. So attractive women, they've gotten so much love and attention literally since they were infants, since they were just girls, just kids, that now that they're an adult, they have the ingrained standards of not only themselves, but of all the people around them in their family or their friend group that have given them standards that they need to uphold because they think that they're attractive. So these types of women create this fantasy, invisible, ideal man in their head, and they go through their whole lives literally seeking validation from this invisible, ideal man that they've created in their own head. This ideal man that they've created in their heads, they're like, I'm probably going to need to win him over because he's probably super valuable, right? And so that's why she dresses super nice. She wears makeup even when it doesn't make sense, like when she's going to the gym. It's all in the off chance that she sees this guy that she's made up in her head and he can see how beautiful she is. Even though we all know that she's beautiful, but because of all these standards that she's created over her whole life and this invisible ideal guy that she's rooting for, she's going for, she never really feels like she's beautiful enough for him, and so she's always trying to become more beautiful. She'll even augment her whole look to become more beautiful for this guy. In her head, it's kind of like a romance love story that's going on, but in real life. So let's say that you, in real life, you meet this girl and you immediately tell her that she's beautiful. Well, she's been hearing that her whole life from guys, and so she's conditioned, she's literally programmed to process that compliment that you give her as you just being like every other guy. And she doesn't process it like you're the guy that she needs to win over because you already see her as beautiful. So this is the key here. Even if she does find you attractive, even if you are close to this ideal man, even if you are the person that she should be with, her estimation of you goes down just from that first interaction. She'll be really, really wishy-washy with you. She's going to test you a lot. And she's even going to start to get really demanding with you because she just feels like it's too easy. It's like she wants you and she knows that she wants you, but for some reason something doesn't feel right inside her because she's like, this isn't how the love story was supposed to go. I was supposed to win you over, not you trying to win me over. And so that's why she's super wishy-washy. She's super flopping back and forth. She's just confused inside. What did Future say, bro? He said, you got all these guys trying to be the solution in her life. You got to be the problem. Like, you have all these guys trying to be in her life. You have to be superior to them in order to stand out in her mind, because this invisible ideal man in her mind has to stand out from every other guy. For me personally, the only time I give compliments is when I genuinely find it so obvious that she looks really, really good, or that there's something about her that's super interesting, that I'm going to give a genuine compliment. It's not my just modus operandi though. It's not like the way that I just do it every single day when I see a good girl. But I'm not just going to do it just because I feel like I need to tell her that, or I feel like it's important to tell her she's beautiful right now. Because I understand that her insecurities will not even allow her to accept that compliment. And so there's no point of doing it unless it's so genuine and so obvious that not saying a compliment will show that you're like trying not to say a compliment. Always remember that a woman that complains for more compliments or more affection, whatever it is, there's a reason why she's choosing to be with you and not those other guys who are showing her that affection in her DMs or just in everyday life. And so once you understand how insecure the average woman who is very, very attractive, I'm talking girls who are 9 or above, how insecure they are, once you understand that and you understand what they're shooting for and what causes that insecurity, you realize, oh, this is how I need to play the game, because I don't want to be seen like every other guy and just keep getting left at arm's distance by these women and never truly having them.
The kind of men who I attract are white men who specifically want to be...
You are a dominatrix.
Yes.
But you haven't had sex in 4 years.
We don't have sex with the men. I'll describe myself as grey asexual. I can go another 10 years right now without having sex with a man. They meet me on Twitter, because I have a Twitter account for my dominatrix persona. If they meet me on Twitter, they have to pay a £100 tribute fee as an introduction fee for them to have the permission to introduce themselves to me. The kind of men who I attract are white men who specifically want to be verbally humiliated and dominated by a black woman who demands reparations from them.
Wow.
This is mind bending, like it's crazy.
Let's break this down.
The more gifted that you are, hear me carefully, the more gifted that you are, and the more intelligent that you are, the more your gift, your talent, your intelligence needs to be clothed with two things: humility and gratitude. And when you are intelligent and gifted and talented, and it is not clothed in humility and gratitude, you become repulsive to those around you. Nobody likes a know-it-all. If you're gifted, be humble about it. If you're intelligent, be humble about it. And be grateful. Maybe your giftedness really is not about you. Maybe you're part of the Lucky Sperm Club. Maybe you have some intelligent folks that came down in your DNA. I'm just telling you, it's really not about us. I mean, if you've got an incredible talent and ability to be able to do something, pick up something, easily learn it and be incredibly creative, it's really not about us. It's something that's through us. And that's why if you are gifted, if you are talented, if you are intelligent, be humble about it, because God could have given it to someone else. Be humble about it and be grateful for it. So every gift, every talent, every bit of intelligence needs to be clothed in humility and gratitude.
You need to realize that it's easier to paint you as the bad person than to take accountability for their side of the story. Like, and no matter what, no matter the relationship that happened, or the friendship that was over, or any of that nature, no matter what that is, it's easier for people to say how bad you are than it is for them to say, yeah, but you know what, I was wrong here and here, and take an equal accountability. But you have to become okay with being that person that just takes on all the heat, because the bigger you are, the more conscious you become, the more aware you are, the easier it is to make you a target, because they know that you're not going to sit here and banter or fight back or create anything of that nature, because you have better things to do. But you have to become okay with the fact that you will be the villain in the story, that you will always be the one that seems like the worst ever, even though the facts don't align and don't match up. And that's okay. It's okay to not have to be the perfect person in every story. You know the truth, and at the end of the day, your life is going to be your life. No one else, no matter what they say or do, can't dictate the things that you do next. So learn to be okay with that.
Growing up, nobody warned me that in your mid to late 20s, it's insanely hard to make friends.
Hey, it's Mel, and you're absolutely right. I think your 20s are the single hardest decade to make friends in, and the reason is simple. The rules of adult friendship completely change when you turn 20, and nobody told you, but I'm going to tell you. So the first rule of adult friendship is that it is now an individual sport. See, for the first 2 decades of your life, friendship was a group activity. You were always with your classmates, or you were on teams, or with your roommates, or with your sorority or fraternity or whatever. So it was easy. When you hit your 20s, the new rule of adult friendship, it is an individual sport, which means it's on you to create friendship. Rule number 2, adult friendship has to be flexible. People are going to come and go in your life because everybody's all over the place now, which means you got to just focus on creating as many connections as you can, and you got to let go of the expectation. And rule number 3, your most favorite people are people you haven't even met yet. All you got to do is go first. You start making the plans, you start reaching out, you start asking people for coffee. The more you say hello, the more you go first, all of a sudden one of these days you're going to find yourself saying hello to someone who becomes your most favorite friend of your entire life. If you want to learn more about how you can find the best friendships of your entire life as an adult, I wrote all about it in my new book, The Let Them Theory. You're absolutely going to love it, and you can click below to learn more.
If you have to ask somebody to do things like they're a fucking child, they're not a partner. That's just what it is. I shouldn't have to ask you to pick up your clothes. I shouldn't have to ask you to help care for your kids. Sorry, the word help again. I shouldn't have to ask you to prepare meals. I shouldn't have to ask you to anticipate that laundry needs to be done, or that grocery shopping needs to be done, or that something needs to be done around the house, or you need to take the pets to the vets. Whatever. You should know you need to do these things. It's what it means to be an adult and to be self-sufficient. Stay-at-home husbands, many times in today's day and age, means it's a husband that stays at home but still doesn't do laundry, cook, take care of the kids, just stays at home and hangs out, and the wife still comes home from work and deals with everything. And yet you have guys on the other side saying, oh, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you should take care of everything. And by the way, why aren't you working too? But when they're stay-at-home guys, they're just staying at home to do goddamn nothing. Like, I don't understand that disconnect there. What it speaks to is, it speaks to guys, no matter what their role is, not wanting to take responsibility for the household duties.
Meanwhile, I live in China, and you live in a society that has zero gun crime. Zero gun crime, right? You can go out in a major city like Shanghai, 30 million people.
I
go
heard
out at 2 in the morning, have a nice watch on, have cash on you, wear nice clothes. No one's going to bother you. You're not going to get jumped. You're not going to get robbed, you're not going to get shot. True. There's a lot of amazing things about that. And that's kind of what I try to do. I try to say there's always nuances that you need to understand about China
that are very different.
You won't understand that until you physically go there and experience it. But I have yet to meet somebody that has physically gone to China and not come away with a very different perception than what the media is presenting to you on a daily basis.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know 17 or who question 17, let me show you exactly what full control looks like.
And as of today, TikTok is back.
At what time did Trump take the stage during today's rally? Exactly at 5:17, which is 1717 military time. And at what time did Trump end his speech? Exactly at 6:17 p.m. And just how long was TikTok down for? Exactly 17 hours. How many U.S. employees does TikTok have? Exactly 17,000. And how many U.S. users does TikTok have?
170 million Americans who use our platform every day.
Exactly 170 million. How many more coincidences before it becomes mathematically impossible? And like TikTok CEO, enjoy the show.
Women, when their vagina is wet and they're feeling aroused, they put out a smell. And a man has a nose inside of this nose, 2 flaps. And those flaps, their only job is to give him an erection because he smells estrogen.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's why men are turned on by young women so easily, because they make so much estrogen. And as women make less estrogen, unless she has a mindset and a relationship that can raise her estrogen up, a man can't be turned on to her. And if a man doesn't have testosterone, a woman can't be turned on to him, or it's very hard for her. She can say, I want to have sex, but is her body really putting out the hormones that I'm in the mood for sex? I'm pre-orgasmic. And then you've got the other side of it, which is the importance of education, educating men and women on all of the foreplay experiences, what we have to do in order, everything about foreplay, as well as romantic times, outside the bedroom are all designed to raise a woman's estrogen so she will be interested in having sex with him. Now, women can say, oh, that's not me. I'm interested in sex all the time. Okay, that's a different kind of interest in sex. That's called addiction to your clitoris. So many women today are addicted to their clitoris. What people don't realize is when you stimulate the clitoris, you're making testosterone. Now, that's a quick way to produce arousal, but it's a different kind of arousal than if you feel your estrogen is high. This is the biological balance of a woman over 30 days is as she's getting closer to ovulation, her estrogen levels will peak. Okay, when her estrogen levels are peaked, this has all been measured and mapped out. When they get very close to peak, then naturally her body releases a brain chemical, which then raises her testosterone levels.
If you missed the inauguration, here's everything you need to know. Melania showed up dressed as an absolute gangster. All the tech moguls of the world, from Zuckerberg to Bezos to Elon Musk and even Shou Chew, were sitting front row. Hillary Clinton walked in without a pardon from President Biden, while Obama walked in completely alone and looked a little awkward. J.D. Vance was sworn in as the Vice President of the United States, surrounded by his family, living proof of the American dream. And Donald Trump, surrounded by his enemies, the Bushes, the Clintons, and the Obamas, was sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. And then he gave a speech talking about how we are entering the golden era of the United States, where the sun will shine around the world. And then he didn't hold back, talking about how terrible the last administration was, but how that ends today. He said he wants his legacy to be that of a peacemaker. No new wars and ending all current wars, bringing our troops home. He said we are going to drill, baby, drill, close the borders, equality and riches for all, ending censorship and misinformation in the United States, bringing back freedom of speech. He said he wants to make America healthy again and announced how we're going to be going to Mars. Now Trump is continuing on to the Capital One Arena, where he is going to sign over 200 executive orders in front of all of his supporters. He said the United States is going to win like never before and how we are going to make America great again. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
There's two things in life that I wish we were told earlier. And one is, if you want to make money, you got to follow the math. And I think most often we're told things like follow our passion. And I think that's pretty bad advice. I think instead we should look to where are most people rich? What makes most people rich? So I kind of go to the data. I realized people that have money have one thing, ownership. So the data is really clear on this. 70% of millionaires are self-made, which is interesting. I used to think maybe you just inherit it. Did they just get lucky? And then 68% of millionaires have some form of ownership. They have actually bought a business or have equity in a business or built a business. If you don't have ownership, you're probably never going to be free financially. You got to get some skin in the game.
When we don't have self-love, we accept things. And the more you have self-love and you know your value, you don't accept things. So if you meet a new friend and you know he's not the same style or not the same values, you're like, out. Cancel, cancel, cancel. But when it comes to love relationships, we need to have the same confidence, even in love, that you know your value, you know what you give, and you don't accept, you don't accept something that doesn't fit with your worth or value, I think.
Why do you think 50% of marriages fail?
One is because people don't select well. They select based on chemistry and their blueprint of like someone gives me butterflies, as opposed to having the tough conversations about what do we believe a life well lived is? What is our stance on children? What is our stance on money? What is our stance on spirituality? Like, what's our values? And what are we going to do to fight for this relationship when we have a hard time? So people don't have those conversations, and then they are not able to assess if they're actually with the right person for them. And then also people don't have the skills to make a relationship work over the long term. And people get very selfish. So we become fixated on what we're not getting, and we don't think about what we're not giving. We get in our heads, we create a lot of stories about the other person, we build up a lot of resentment. That resentment creates a lot of resistance. That resistance creates a tense physiology, and in that tense physiology, we're not attracted to each other anymore. We lose the motivation to meet each other's needs. And that's all part of the learned helplessness. And then we think, you know, there's no better way to move forward from this than to get a divorce.
And we've come to the end of the videos. These videos were self-explanatory more than I could comment on it, so I just kept quiet and absorbed whatever that was being said. And we've come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends, and also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.